Ever woken up to a notification that your bank account has been closed? It's a chilling thought, isn't it? Especially when it's your main account, the one you use for everything. Today, we're diving into a question that's probably crossed the mind of every Monzo user. Can Monzo close your account? The short answer is yes, they can. But the why and the how are far more nuanced, and that's what we're going to explore in this video. Now, before we get into the specifics, let's establish one thing. Monzo, like any other bank, operates under a set of terms and conditions. These terms are essentially the rulebook for the relationship between you and the bank. When you open an account, you agree to these terms, and Monzo agrees to provide you with banking services. It's a two-way street. And within those terms, there are clauses that outline the circumstances under which Monzo can close your account. So, why would Monzo close your account? There are a number of reasons, and they generally fall into a few key categories. Firstly, and perhaps most obviously, there's illegal activity. If Monzo suspects your account is being used for fraudulent purposes, money laundering, or any other illegal activity, they are legally obligated to close it. This isn't just a Monzo policy, it's a regulatory requirement. Banks are required to have robust systems in place to detect and prevent financial crime, and account closure is a key tool in that fight. Think about it. If someone is using their Monzo account to run a Ponzi scheme or to receive the proceeds of crime, Monzo can't just turn a blind eye. They have a responsibility to protect their customers and the wider financial system. So, if your account raises red flags in their anti-money laundering or fraud detection systems, they will likely investigate, and if their suspicions are confirmed, they will close your account. Another category is breach of terms and conditions. Remember that rulebook we talked about? Well, if you violate those rules, Monzo has the right to close your account. This can cover a range of things, from providing false information when you opened the account, to using your account in a way that's explicitly prohibited in the terms. For example, if you're using your personal account for business purposes when it's meant for personal use only, that could be a breach of terms. Or, if you're engaging in abusive behavior towards Monzo staff, that could also be grounds for account closure. It's important to understand that these terms and conditions aren't just there for Monzo's benefit. They're also there to protect you, the customer. They outline your rights and responsibilities, and they help to ensure a fair and transparent banking relationship. So, it's always a good idea to read through the terms and conditions carefully when you open an account with any bank, including Monzo. Now, let's talk about inactivity. Can Monzo close your account if you haven't used it for a while? Generally, yes, they can. Most banks have policies regarding dormant or inactive accounts. The specifics vary, but typically, if your account has been inactive for a significant period, often a year or more, and you haven't made any transactions or contacted the bank, they may consider it dormant. They'll usually try to contact you before closing the account, giving you the opportunity to reactivate it. However, if they can't reach you, or you don't respond, they may proceed with closure. This isn't just Monzo being difficult. Inactive accounts can pose a security risk. They're more vulnerable to fraud, as they're not being actively monitored by the account holder. Also, banks incur costs maintaining these accounts, even if they're not being used. So, it's understandable that they have policies in place to manage them. Another reason Monzo might close your account is if they are ceasing to offer services in your region or if they are exiting a particular market. This is less common, but it can happen. Banks are businesses, and sometimes they make strategic decisions to withdraw from certain areas. If this happens, they will usually give you reasonable notice and help you to transition your banking to another provider. Now, what about notice? Are they required to give you notice before closing your account? Generally, yes. They will usually try to contact you either by email, phone, or in-app notification to inform you of their intention to close your account and the reasons why. However, there are exceptions. In cases of suspected fraud or illegal activity, they may close the account immediately without prior notice. This is necessary to prevent further harm and to protect the integrity of the financial system. It's also important to note that Monzo has a responsibility to treat their customers fairly. Even if they have grounds to close an account, they should act reasonably and proportionally. They should provide clear reasons for the closure, and they should give you an opportunity to address any concerns or provide evidence to the contrary, where appropriate. So, what can you do to minimize the risk of your Monzo account being closed? Firstly, and most importantly, use your account responsibly and within the terms and conditions. Don't engage in any illegal activity, and don't use your personal account for business purposes unless it's specifically permitted. Keep your contact details up to date so Monzo can reach you if they need to. And if you're not using your account, don't just leave it dormant. Make a small transaction every now and then, or contact Monzo to let them know you're still active. If you do receive a notification that Monzo intends to close your account, don't panic. Contact them immediately. Try to understand the reasons for the closure, and if you believe there's been a mistake, provide them with any evidence you have to support your case. Communication is key. The sooner you address the issue, the better the chances of resolving it. It's also worth noting that you have the right to complain if you believe Monzo has closed your account unfairly. You can follow their internal complaints procedure, and if you're not satisfied with the outcome, you can escalate your complaint to the relevant financial ombudsman or regulatory authority. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.